Thursday.
After a long break.
Yay. Oh, I should probably make us a little bit bigger here. There we go. Hello, everyone. And I have to say, this seems like punishment. Making my wife watch tonight since I had to endure her HGTV. That seems like tit for tat, man. Like, I had to suffer through HGTV. You're going to suffer through us live.
That's right.
Actually, it's great. It's great. By the way, do you like my crappy holiday text? No one likes it.
Yeah, okay. It's a little hard to read the name.
It is.
There we go.
Yeah. That's better. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, hello everyone, and it's Thursday, and this is the first live on my new computer, so I hope it looks good.
Yeah, when it all breaks, we'll blame Dan.
Yes. So I'm trying to. Oh, Josh is having issues. Oh no.
Speaking of.
Yeah. Right. Okay. He's texting me. He's like, "Are you having connection issues?" No. She doesn't like cars. Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Don't worry. We'll probably talk about that for 10% of it.
So. Yeah. So, yeah, hopefully, again, I got the new setup. It's, hopefully this all works.
Is mine working?
Yeah.
You're blurry, but we can hear you.
You're there, but it's...
I cut out. Like I didn't get any of the last 2 minutes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, your connection must be crap then. Because everyone else looks crystal clear. So you need to do whatever. You know what I do every time I'm about to do a live? I reboot my computer. Every time. Just in case.
I'm on a Mac. I shouldn't have to do that.
Oh, that doesn't matter today.
Doesn't matter.
All right, I'm going to reboot and I'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It could be your router too.
I have a Blackhawk. It should be fine. I really do have a Blackhawk.
Do you really?
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll be right back.
Oh man. All right. Well, anyway, while Josh is doing his thing, dump AOL. Oh my god. He's on the Spectrum, not Spectrum. The Spectrum.
It is Spectrum.
Oh, you're looking better now. It cleared up.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
Probably because it's closing all the stuff on my computer to reboot it.
Oh, dude, so it was your computer probably.
Hang on. Is that better?
Must be a hell of a computer, Dan. You look great. Well, thank you. I'll take it.
Okay, well, I'm not going to reboot then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're back.
I think you're good now. Canceled. Yeah, you just got to... That's the other thing. When I'm doing the live, it's the only thing running on the computer. Like everything else, closed down. No other browser tabs. No nothing. Just simple. I was telling before the live, I was saying I got a new monitor, and so I got the new computer, got a new monitor and everything, and I'm trying to decide if I like the new setup or not. Like the monitor's not as wide, but it's got a higher resolution, so it's kind of good, I guess. It makes
that monitor you had before was huge.
Yeah, I love the old monitor, but it was only 1080p resolution times 2.
Oh, okay.
So this one is 4K plus a half a monitor. So it's like 4K and a half.
That's the way to do it.
Or something. So I can lift up the camera and show you. So there's the monitor. So you can see it's got both, it's wide enough to do 2 things at the same time. There's the new laptop. But see, here's the old monitor. I still have it hooked up, but yeah, it's, as you can see, it's massive. It's a big boy. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with it. So, whatever. Anyway, there we go.
Salad.
Yeah, and what do I do with the old laptop? So I got my old laptop. It's still good. Like it's still good enough, but it wasn't. So the big thing was, I guess it's been probably half a year, maybe a year. I don't know, probably half a year. I switched to doing it all in 4K. All the videos I do for YouTube now are all 4K. And ever since switching to 4K, that laptop had a hard time. It struggled.
Yeah, the fans were screaming in Monterey.
The fans were dying. It was overheating. If I didn't prop the computer up, it would overheat and blue screen. And the other problem was when you're editing, it was jumpy. It's like when you're trying to edit and the video is jumpy, it makes it impossible. So I finally was like, okay, I've got to get a better computer if I'm going to edit 4K videos. So I did. But anyway, it's good enough to do like, you know, basic stuff. Obviously, it was good enough to edit 1080p videos for 5-6 years. So anyway,
Yep.
I bought a computer for my wife and she never used it. So I brought that to the stub. So that's
Yep.
So I have a laptop at the stub already that I just leave there, and it's perfect for browsing the web and just doing basic stuff. But what's the new supercar? Well, we need some guesses.
Yeah, and some likes. Jeez.
So actually, here's the funny thing. We got 2 new non-Ferrari supercars and a Ferrari.
I keep forgetting about that other one.
I know, right? So we got 3 cars today.
Nice.
One still isn't at the stub. 2 of them arrived at the stub today. One of them will be at the stub. I'm going to say probably
less
Tuesday.
than a week.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday next week, maybe Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bit of a story behind that one. So I guess I'll tell the story of that one first. So Josh and I have been on the warpath to find cars because right now there's like nothing good on the market. We've been dying. Like we've been scouring the internet like every single night. Josh and I are texting each other like trying to find good cars, and it's just nothing. And so that's by the way, that's our nightly ritual now. Josh and I lay in bed. I don't know about you, Josh. I'm sitting there with my cell phone next to Megan. She's watching some puffy skirt movie or something. I'm just like browsing Facebook and whatever else I can find and see if there's anything. And
I go on my computer until I get yelled at the screen's too bright because I've got my computer and my desktop in the bedroom.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's just no good Ferraris right now. Actually, we did buy that one Ferrari. It was on Facebook. Multiple people sent me a link to it. We had already made the guy an offer, and then people were like, "You should buy this one." And I'm like, "Yeah, we're trying to."
Already ahead of you.
But anyway, so we've been watching the auctions to try and see if there's anything good, and usually like I think it's Wednesday they have like the Highline sale or something, and it's usually like, you know, good crazy stuff. And so like I had a list of cars that I thought were at least interesting to watch to see if they would go anywhere. Josh had a list, you know, we combine our list. And so I send Josh this car and I'm like, "What do you think of this one?" He's like, yeah, you know, it's okay, and blah, blah, blah. And he sends me a link to what I thought was that car for sale at another dealership, but it actually was the same spec, different car.
That's funny.
I was just sending it to him to show him the price of it. I wasn't like saying this is the car.
Right. So I was like, "Oh crap, they're trying to sell it for that much?" I'm like, "Dude, like, okay, so if we can get it for X amount, we'd be really good, right?" So the auction starts and I can't get I'm trying to call Josh and he's tied up. So I'm like, shit, you know, it's below what we said we would bid it up to. So I'm like, do I bid? Okay, all right, screw it, I'm bidding. So I bid on it, and finally, like, I get a hold of Josh. I'm like, dude, I've already got the high bid, like, blah blah blah, and it's stalled, and it's way lower than we think. What do we do? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, wait, that car? And I'm like, yeah, that's the one you sent me. And he's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not? So I'm like, oh crap. So then I start panicking, like, oh crap, I'm bidding on the wrong car. You know, like, oh no. So I'm freaking out. And well, anyway, we won.
Nice.
Accidentally. But yeah, it's
Do you want to tell them what it is or no?
Yeah, let me get the picture of it. I gotta find a picture of it.
It's stupid.
Oh no.
It's silly. And it's gonna be great. And people are gonna be like, what? Wait, what? Oh crap! I have to go to Manheim. Give me a minute. Keep talking amongst yourselves.
All right.
Yeah, Pete, it's awesome. Absolutely changes how the car drives. It's like a whole new car.
Sorry. Yes, I know I'm boring right now.
Hey, you.
Yeah. Talk more about it. How many miles you put on things like that?
Oh yeah.
Well, I put on.
Putting you on the spot, I know.
Yeah,
Right.
I put over 1,000 miles while I was in Texas.
Yeah.
Probably about 1,100 miles driving it for 10 days or so in Texas, just to make sure that it was all tuned, dialed in, cables and all that. But yeah, I have a couple of things I want to tweak on the exhaust, and the headliner fell on me coming home while I was trailering it, so I have to do that on the interior.
In the trailer, it fell.
In the trailer, yeah. When I got it home, it was laying on top of the seats.
Oh, jeez.
That happened to us too when we bought a 430. We trailer it home from where was it? It was San Antonio.
Yeah.
We open up the door, and here it is laying on the ground.
And that foam is everywhere, and it's super nasty shit.
Okay,
Sticks to everything.
No one guessed the car, by the way.
Nobody even threw out any guesses.
No one
I don't
threw.
I don't think anybody would guess what it is, even though it's kind of like a.
It's one of the staples that everyone's like, "Oh, you need to get one of these. You need to get one." Well, anyway.
There you go. Oh
Nice.
shit.
That is a 911 GT3 RS.
Sweet.
So there you go, and it's absurd.
I believe that.
So all the Porsche people can STFU. We finally got one. So hooray, you guys can celebrate, and we'll see if it does well. And if it does, maybe we'll do more Porsches. And if it does terribly, then we will banish it to the corner like Lamborghinis.
Yep.
Which, speaking of, we also have a Lamborghini now.
So they can sit in the corner together.
So we'll push that, and they're both black.
And they're both black.
So we'll just shove the black cars. Oh, that sounds really bad. I gotta take that. I gotta walk that one back.
Yep.
Someone's gonna call me on that one. Be like,
Too far.
"You're putting the black cars in the back, are you?" Oh, okay. Oh boy.
Sensitivity training for Dan tomorrow.
Yeah. Crap. Anyway, it is a Superleggera 2011, so it's the LP 570-4. So if you know, we do love the Super Gs. They are phenomenal cars. That one actually, crazy enough, it was local, like rare amongst rare. We actually have a diversity representative enters the chat. No kidding, right? Like, oh, yeah, I screwed up that one. Yeah. Well, some of the Porsches are dropping in price, but a lot of the like GT3s and GT3 RSs are kind of holding still, and they're all still asking crazy money for these things.
They've come down quite a bit from the peak, but they've kind of settled just like the Ferraris.
Yeah. So I feel like we've got it where we can list it at a price that it should sell quickly. Like we looked on the market, and the price that we want to list it at, we want to list it for less than any other GT3 RS on the market. Yeah, there's the Super G.
Nice.
It's all black. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I like the green caliper. That's cool.
Yeah, black with the green calipers.
It looks good. It pops a little with the calipers. So yeah, we got those, and then we also got the new F430 that we bought on Facebook. So, yeah,
I want to know what that picture was. Like,
the picture of the Bolt.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I posted this picture, and so here's the funny thing: we get this 430, right? And the dude had said, "Oh, like I had it serviced at a really reputable shop, and they did all this maintenance on it, and blah blah blah." So we put it up on the lift, and we see this Bolt. Now, hold on. I'm going to zoom in on this. What you're looking at is a bolt with a copper washer on top of a stainless steel washer because the stainless steel washer's hole is too big for the bolt. So this highly reputable shop had a washer that was too big, but decided to use it anyway. So they used a copper washer and a bolt, and then they drove the bolt in so hard it's copper. It just folded it in half right around the bolt. So you could not get a socket on the bolt onto the bolt.
That's a not my problem. Like zip up.
This is from a highly reputable place.
Oh shit.
Which I'm not going to name because I'm not going to be that guy. But this is why I think it's hilarious when people are like, "Oh, I only take my car to fill in the blank with some expensive place," and they're like, "Oh, they never cut corners." Yeah. Yes, they all do. They all cut corners. Sorry. And then that's just one of the bolts. There are the very like the randomness of the hardware on the bottom of this car was hilarious. And it was still missing like at least 7 or 8 bolts on the under tray.
Wow. So
it's missing like a good 1/3 of the bolts. Another 1/3 of them are the wrong hardware.
Yep.
And this is a well-maintained car from a highly reputable shop.
Yeah, you can't make that up.
No. I was just laughing as I was on. And man, some of those bolts were torqued down so tight that
they used the impact. That's how it bent the crap out of those washers.
I was using the electric ratchet, and it was not strong enough to take out some of the bolts on the under tray.
Damn.
Remember, those are in aluminum sets. What are they called? Inserts or whatever. Jesus. They're in aluminum. You can't, if you over tighten those things, it will just pull them right out of the aluminum. I couldn't believe it. So, yeah. Anyway, that car, though, other than that, looks pretty decent. The interior is in excellent shape. It's actually Rosso Corsa with Curio.
Ooh.
I love that combo so much.
What year is it?
07.
7, yeah.
How many miles?
34,000 miles.
It's 32.
30, oh, there you go. 32.
What's the clutch on it?
Brand new clutch. Oh yeah, this is another funny thing. They just replaced the clutch, and so I get in the car and drive it, and the first thing I'm like, "Oh my god, this PIS is so far off." Like,
yeah,
if we were,
I think they put a new clutch in and didn't adjust the PIS.
It's so far off. If you were to keep it like it is, that clutch would last like 4,000 miles.
Comment of the night right here.
Yep, absolutely. You need to know how to drive them properly.
Well,
not only that, you need to know like about cars and Ferraris and just like you can't. I want to do like I'm going to buy a Ferrari and go get a 430. It doesn't work.
We need to do a PSA about the PIS because there's been a really high number of cars that we go drive and test or whatever, and the owner's like, "Oh, the car's perfect. It drives great." And we get in and we're like, "Oh my god, this PIS is so loose that the clutch is burning out."
The clutch.
It stands for point of initial slip.
Yeah,
and it's how, like, you've got the clutch and how much the clutch is touching the plate while it's just not engaged. So how much does how much movement before it touches, so right?
Basically, if the PIS is off and you take off from a stoplight, it think of releasing the clutch really slow. It'll kind of, rev up a little bit and then it'll go. And then when you shift, the revs pop a little bit because there's too much slip in there. So you can go in and adjust it. It's not a big deal.
You know what? That'd be a great video. Is just how do you tell the PIS is loose?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a computer, you can tell it's loose.
Well, we have 2 cars now. One with perfect adjusted and one that's not. So you can do a back-to-back. Drive one, drive the other. Here's what happens.
I think we have to. We need to do that before we convert that car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like. Go ahead.
You're going to convert that one?
Yep.
Is Greg's car
all of them? All of them.
Yeah, we convert all the things,
all,
right?
all the things.
Burn them all.
Yeah, we decided Greg's car is so nice, like it's in such good condition that we'd rather if someone wants an F1 car, that is the F1, like that is a great F1 car. Like it would be a perfect F1 car. So we figured the new car, it's in not as great condition. It's a better candidate to be converted. We'd rather convert that one first.
It's in really good. It's in pretty good shape, but it's not like pristine museum quality like the other one.
Yeah, like you've got like a 9 out of 10 and then like a 7 out of 10, right? So it's like you might as well convert the 7 out of 10.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, just simple things like just the way it shifts. If you get those blips on the shifts, that's a sign that the PIS isn't right. You should not.
And it's also, if your PIS is not correct, it will wear the clutch much faster.
Way faster. Yep. No, in fact, one of my friends, Baron, he had a brand new clutch put in. They didn't do the PIS correctly, and it burned out the clutch in like 1,000 miles.
Does it auto adjust itself as the clutch life wears then?
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it will get off a little. It can get off, and so you may have to adjust it again. And that's part of like if you're taking your car in for like a major service or something like that, they should be looking at that.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know how much they actually are or are not if you take it to the dealer. But that, like, to me, if I was taking my car to get serviced annually at the dealer, I would have them check the PIS every time.
Okay. Makes
Because
sense.
like but at the same time, you should be able to feel it. And that's the problem is I feel like so many people, they only have driven one F430. It's the one I own, right? That's the only F430 I've ever driven. So they have no reference point to know, is this how it should be driving or not? And that's why when we go drive it, we're like, this thing drives like dog shit. And they're like, oh, it's wonderful. It drives so great. We're like,
it's a Ferrari.
no.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is great. I'm in a Ferrari. And we're like, dude, this thing sucks. And you know, like you're telling them that their kid's ugly, but you know, it's like tell you, like, you know,
It's true.
this one hit a couple of those branches.
Yeah, it's like the whole everybody says their car's the best and it's well maintained and yada yada yada, and you're the guy that's like, not really, dude.
Yeah.
No, it's not, and you break their heart.
Yeah,
and they're in denial usually.
This is actually kind of false. This is another one of those myths that people are perpetuating. And the only reason I'm calling you out is because I don't want the myth to be perpetuated. It's not really true. The only thing auto mode might do is it might sometimes shift when you don't want to shift, but it's effectively driving the same as when you use
it's not shifting the car any differently in auto mode than it would if you pull the paddle.
Right.
Just maybe more often is all.
It just might,
and it shifts at lower RPMs. It's more for like just cruising around or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
You do want it in race though.
Yes.
Sport mode to extend the clutch.
Yeah, you definitely get more clutch life in race mode than in sport mode or comfort or whatever, because the clutch is grabbing quicker. So like you should be able, and that's the thing, you like feel the car. You can feel when the clutch grabs and it's fully engaged, right? And if it slips a lot, you'll feel it slip. And so obviously, like, it has to slip some, but you can, like, it's one thing when it slips a little bit. It's another thing when it slips. Like, so right now, this car we just got, first time I get in it, I push the gas pedal, it revs up to like 2,500, and it holds it there for like 3-4 seconds until it finally engages the clutch. And I'm like, ooh, like,
Dang.
no, that's not right. You know, it should rev up maybe to 2,000 RPMs, and then within probably 1 second, grab fully. Now, it's obviously when it's cold, it's looser than when it's hot, but like, ooh, not good. So anyway,
I don't know if I agree with you, Peter.
what?
He said that the F1 system releases the clutch better than a human can every time.
I don't know about that.
I don't
That's
agree with
definitely
that
not true.
Not if after you've driven them both ways. I think you would disagree.
I don't know about this either. I think this might be crap. Like,
I could see that because, you know, the F1 system basically is forcing the transmission into gear. Like
But
if
that's
you're
just the
driving,
F1. I don't think that has to do with the race mode or sport mode. It's always forcing it into gear.
It's a tremendous amount of pressure to force it.
I
It
think
is.
maybe race mode is the clutch grabs quicker. So yeah, maybe it has nothing to do with the.
This is accurate.
synchros.
PIS does not change in race mode. So the PIS setting is the same. It's just how fast it engages the clutch fully in race mode. So if you like try it, if you have an F430, put it into wet mode, do a start, see how much it rides the clutch, and try and give it the exact same amount of throttle pressure, right? Then put it in sport mode and then do race mode, and you'll see how much quicker the car fully engages the clutch.
Plus reverse. You want to limit reverse as much as possible, especially uphill.
Right, and that's because it's just always slipping, unless you like really. Because how often are you giving it so much gas in reverse that it engages the clutch fully?
Yeah,
Basically, never.
makes sense.
And actually, the other thing is, even in forward motion, if you're starting on a hill, give it enough gas to get the clutch fully engaged, because you can give it too little gas, and it'll slip and slip and slip as it's going up the hill.
Also, if you're in stop and go traffic and you just, like you can leave it in gear and slow down, and the clutch is automatically going to feather that for you. But if you're going to do that for hours, because you're in, like that time in Colorado when we were stuck in that construction site.
Yeah.
But what I ended up doing is when I saw we were coming to a stop, I just put it in neutral and I just let the car glide to where I had to stop.
That's what I always did in my 360. I would always coast, coming up to a stoplight, boom, put it in neutral and coast it in.
And then I would wait for the traffic to move away for a
Yeah.
while before I put it in gear, so I could get into gear and fully engage and not have it just feather and feather and feather all.
Well, the other thing you could do is like, if you give a gap, instead of like immediately getting up onto the car in front of you, just give it a little gas until the clutch is fully engaged, and you can actually release the gas pedal, and it will go all the way to idle with the gear still engaged fully, and it's not releasing the clutch. So you're in gear, and it's like it goes like 5 or 6 miles an hour, and it'll just sit there, and it's like it's uncomfortable because it's like it's at idle, but it will go in gear, and you're not putting anywhere on the clutch whatsoever. So that's another trick if you're in traffic.
Interesting.
Yep. And people, the whole people are like, oh, like putting it in neutral at a stoplight saves the clutch. No, it does help the release bearing though. But I mean, if you're gonna the release bearing is gonna outlive the clutch anyway. So when you change the clutch, change the release bearing, change the pilot bearing, just always.
And don't use bread.
And don't use bread. We learned, even though it works, it doesn't work.
Yep.
Hard lesson there. Sorry.
On the Alex, on the DCTs, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't have to do any of that crap.
No, yeah.
No, it's a totally different design. It's a wet clutch. They last a couple 100,000 miles. Doesn't matter. So Ferrari told me to use 4% clutch at 12,000 miles.
On what kind of car? Not a single clutch car.
So the problem is the computer isn't 100% accurate. That's one of those things where like people are like, oh, my computer says I'm at this clutch life. That's why like when it's like, oh, it says I'm at 75% clutch life, I'm not changing the clutch now. It's like, dude,
well, what's really interesting too is you can go in with the scanner and read the clutch life, and then you can do it tomorrow, and it's going to read something totally different.
Yep, literally. You could drive. You could read the clutch life, go drive the car a mile, come back, read the clutch life, and it will not be the same.
Interesting.
I don't know how it measures it, but it does something.
It's
and I think maybe when it's hot, it measures it differently than when it's cold. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's interesting, but yeah, this the joys of F1. It's good. It's good, but manual's better.
Manual is better.
The Tesla recall is not a real recall, so I don't know why everyone's going crazy over that.
I haven't read anything about this.
It's just basically the short version is when people were using autopilot, they were getting distracted and not paying attention, and they were causing accidents. So the whatever government crap oversees that, I forget the name of it. but they said you need to have more driver attention when you're using the autopilot. So all it is they're doing a software update over the air. You don't have to take your car in. That makes it so if you're using autopilot, you have to touch the steering wheel more often so that the car knows you're paying attention.
Oh,
That's all it is.
right.
So yeah, it's a bad term. It's an old term for a new problem. Like it's not a recall. It's just a bug.
It's an update.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody said recall because everyone hates Tesla for some reason in the media, and so
Well,
they tried to make a big stink about it, and it's like not a big deal. So whatever.
This is definitely a true statement. DCTs are better until they break.
Well, I think if a DCT breaks, you're replacing the transmission.
Generally, yeah. Generally. I mean, the big problem with the DCT is the speed sensor. If the speed sensor goes out, they used to replace the whole transmission. If you take it to a Ferrari dealership, they're most likely going to still replace the whole transmission. So you're talking like $35,000, $40,000. But there are places that will actually crack open the DCT and replace the speed sensors. It's still like $7,000 or $8,000, but it's a lot better than $35,000, $40,000.
Yeah, I'll take that over 35, 40.
Yeah. Because the problem, so the speed sensor failure is when you'll see where like it'll only go in even gears or only go in odd gears and do some weird shit like that. So, and eventually it can get to where it just won't go. Period. It just is like transmission failure. Like, I give up.
Yeah, too bad.
But you'll notice you never, ever, ever hear of anyone saying, "Oh, my DCT clutch went out" or something like that, because they don't.
I've never heard of a DCT clutch on any car having to be replaced or going out or anything.
They just literally don't. Because the wet clutch, it's not the same thing.
Yep.
They last hundreds, plural, of thousands of miles. And there's two clutch plates or two different clutches for the two different shafts. So it's totally different system. Yeah, and that's basically true of most DCTs. They don't really fix them.
Yeah.
What they probably do is they probably send it off to a place that does refurb them, but the dealers aren't going to pay for that. They're just going to send it out.
Yeah, they're going to get as much money as they can out of it, right? And sell it off to someone that's going to pay them for it. So.
Well, when DCTs first started coming out in like the mid 2000s on Volkswagens and Audis, they couldn't hold a lot of power, so that's why the higher end cars didn't have them, and they got a lot better to hold higher power, and that's when Ferrari switched to DCT. And that's why they didn't use them originally, because they couldn't hold the power. They were blowing up.
So there's an F430 that's well documented that's got, I think it's up to 250,000 miles on it, and it's got nothing's ever been done to the engine other than oil changes, oil change, coolant change. I think it's had like, I want to say it's on its 6th clutch or something like that. Maybe 5th. The transmission's original, never been replaced.
The
Good
F1
maintenance.
It's an F1 car. Yeah. So, I mean, if you Google it, like high mile F430 or 200,000 mile F430 or something like that, it'll come up, I'm sure. But the dude like got, they interviewed him and whatever, and he's like, oh yeah. Of course, there's also a crazy, crazy dude out there that's got like 200,000+ miles on a Murcielago.
Yeah.
Now that is nuts. Because that means.
Well, we saw those Enzo in Monterey had over 100,000 miles on it. A freaking Enzo.
Yeah.
Yep. And that guy, he said it's only had like one clutch replaced.
Yeah.
So, and that's the same transmission as the 430. Exact same thing with a lot more power.
If you just fix things when they break, the car will last forever.
Yeah.
And take care of it and
fix things when they break and stay up on the maintenance.
Change the fluids when they need to be changed. And
don't skimp out on anything, and they'll last you.
And don't drive it like an asshole.
Well,
you can do that sometimes.
Sometimes.
Just all the time.
Sometimes. Not all the time. I mean, I think the 430 is a very well-built car. There's some known maintenance points on it that like kind of are stupid. You're like, really, Ferrari? Like the ball joints are terrible design. They should not have. They're chrome plated instead of like whatever stainless or something like that. So the chrome plating, it corrodes and falls off, and then next thing you know, you got ball joints popping. The bushings wear out and get creaky. But I mean, these are also 20 almost year old cars.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
the
always
problems they're having.
I always love when people are like, "Oh, like my Toyota hasn't had that many problems." And I'm like, "Your Toyota didn't sit there for 90% of its life, and every time it was driven, it was thrashed." Like give me a
While
break.
cold. Yeah.
Yeah, well, probably while cold. So like these cars are actually very impressive.
But you
Oh,
can run a
dude.
Toyota you can run a Toyota with 1 quart of dirty oil in it, and it'll still run and get you to
That's-
work.
I mean,
Yep.
they are kind of built like tanks, but they also produce like 1/8 the horsepower. I
That's
mean,
true.
Hmm.
Kettlebell's comment, that was a good one. The pink F430. But what was the original video? That was my thought. Like,
What,
was
the
that
dude-
2 girls, 1 cup or something? Like,
dude, Horking?
Oh god.
yeah.
No, I don't even. I just randomly Googled like dry heaves.
Okay. But what was he watching on the computer that you covered up?
It was like nothing. It was
Okay.
just like the computer screen. I mean, it didn't even have anything on it. He was just going, "Ugh," and I was like, "Oh,
All
this
right.
is perfect."
I was like, oh, it's got to be something raunchy underneath there. But
You mentioned the Romas. The Romas are, I think, a good value for the money because they've come down so much. You can buy them pretty cheap and have a pretty new low mile Ferrari for.
They're great cars.
I don't like the way they look, but
I don't like the nose at all. No.
The
anyone
nose
who's
looks like
everyone I've talked
Right.
to that has one or
And the
has
back
driven
looks
one
like an
has been
F-Type.
impressed with it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I would agree that the Super G is the best land. Well, it might be. It might be. I mean, I don't know. I love the Murcielago, even though it's just terrible. It's hard not to love it. It is so bad it's good. Kind of. The Super G is just a good car. It's just good, right? It's phenomenal. It sounds good. It drives good. It's reliable.
It's not fast enough for me.
Well, that's.
I
'cause we're
feel
getting
like it should.
spoiled.
I feel like it should be faster for what it is, but
Eh. I'm curious. So I haven't driven this one yet. So this is the LP 570. I've only driven Steve's old, the pre-LP.
Mhm.
So I'm curious if it feels different in the pre-LP versus the LP.
That'd
yeah.
be cool to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what we need to do is do a
Shift your car
Porsche-
down.
We need to do a Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini video
Oh, there
of
you
all
go.
3 of them.
Yeah.
Do like a comparison or something.
Here's an
like
interesting question. How much money would you budget per year on maintenance? 360, 430, 458.
that. Well, the 458 is going to be the lowest for sure.
Yeah. 458,
1,000 a year.
$1,000 a year.
Oil change,
Oil change and every few years tires. And
brake flush,
yeah, brake
Yeah,
fluid.
brake
coolant flush once in a while.
Coolant.
I guess it depends too. How much of it are you going to do yourself?
Yeah, that's
Because
Yeah,
all
that's
that
true.
stuff you can do yourself, and it doesn't cost you hardly anything. Tires.
Yeah. 430. I'd say you want to probably budget $2,000 to maybe $3,000, just because every few years you might have a bigger thing.
And again, also that depends on how much you can do yourself, because you're going
Right.
to save a ton of money if you do stuff yourself on
Yeah.
simple things that you take it to a shop is going to cost you $2,000 or $3,000. You could probably do for a couple $100. You know how
I
to
feel
do
like
it yourself.
most years the 430 oil change, fluids, that's it. Most years. But then-
360, you have the belts. The only difference
360
between a 360 and a 430 is the belts, and you really got to stay on
Well-
top of coolant changes, right?
You really, yeah. If you don't
The
do
heat
oil change,
exchanger.
you're gonna have the heat exchanger go out. So, but basically, those two are both gonna have. I mean, they have the exact same bushings, the same ball joints, the same transmission, effectively. The same universal joints for the half shafts. All that stuff's the same, so it's gonna need the same maintenance. So. Yeah, I mean, I think two to $3,000. Like, if you did $3,000, you're probably ahead of the game if you pool that up, right? On
Yeah.
360, maybe add $1,000 a year just because you're going to do the belts every few years.
Yeah,
So,
the belts are going to cost you a couple grand to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of about it. I feel like, the 360 on up is kind of like when you get to the era of Ferraris where they don't really require that much maintenance.
Yeah.
Or at least shouldn't if they're maintained well. And that's the problem, right? Like you could buy a very well maintained 430 and it could need nothing for years. And you could buy another 430 that's been neglected and it needs everything. Like look at my first 430. It was neglected. That poor thing needed everything when I bought it. It needed all wheel bearing, all the ball joints, the bushings, the trans mounts, all that crap, right?
Yep.
Just needed everything. Are your kids arguing in the background?
Can you hear the TV?
Oh, is that
Yeah.
what it is?
It's super
I'll tell her to
loud.
turn it off. I thought you guys couldn't hear it. I was waiting for someone to say something. And
Oh yeah, I thought
me
your
go
kids
turn it
were
off.
like going at it.
no,
Yeah, it sounded like they were going at it. I was like, you're definitely on daddy duty, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, Is the
No,
408
Kevin, we don't do that here. We don't talk about cars.
Never, yeah. I don't know that I would say it's the most reliable modern Ferrari. I would say it is a very reliable modern Ferrari because
I mean, what's more reliable than a 458 though?
I think possibly the F8 might be.
I can see that.
Because the F8 supposedly has the non-sticky buttons and a few of the other things.
Yeah. But
So
it
like
also
the
has turbos.
it does have turbos, but like the 488s had some turbo issues in the early ones, but the later cars, I've not heard of anyone having turbo issues on those now. So, you don't really hear about anything breaking on those cars. When was the last time you heard about a 488 with something wrong with it?
Yeah.
It's like almost unheard of. Versus, I do feel like the 458 does have some electrical gremlins that can creep in. And again, it's also because it's getting older.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that could affect the 488 as well. So
The 488 still has sticky buttons and everything too.
yeah. Yeah. I would say 458, it's definitely 458 is definitely in the era of very reliable Ferraris, right? Like they just don't need a whole lot. Oh,
Ooh, that's
yesterday my buddy's turbo blew on his 488. It does happen. Like I
No.
said, some of the 488s do have some turbo issues.
What year was it? Do you know? I'm curious if it was an early one or a later one.
I don't know why I just like this. What up?
The 296 SF90 is not a replacement for the F8. They're all different cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
The F8 is the
Um,
replacement for the 488.
I have not heard of too many steering rack issues on the 458. I've actually heard of some on the 430 and 360. So there's some weird thing where the shaft connects into the steering mechanism, it like gets loose and wobbly and you get play in the steering wheel. So that's another thing. If you're buying a 430, just move the steering wheel, and if you feel any play before it starts grabbing, you're going to need a steering rack.
It's good to know.
Yeah. It's not super common, but it does happen.
I mean, it's a mechanical part like anything else. They're going to
Right.
fail on different cars in
Didn't
different ways.
Tyler? I heard that the McLarens have steering rack issues. I read that some of the early, like the 12Cs and the 650s, have that problem.
Yeah, I've read that as well, but I think it's the same thing. It's just isolated handful of
Yeah.
bad parts or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have that problem, so I haven't read up that much on it, but I have read that. So
By the way,
You
is
haven't
your
gone
car
there
is
yet.
your car done?
no, they're still waiting on the part. So
Oh, okay.
Yes, the joys of supercar ownership. Oh, those
Yeah.
parts will be here sometime.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
someday.
English are better than the Italians, but they're
That is definitely true.
they're still
I will-
English. So.
Yeah, I love when you order some parts that are not currently like available for a Ferrari, and they're just like, yeah, someday.
They'll come when they come.
Yeah. It could be a couple of weeks, could be a couple months, maybe next year. I don't know. We'll let you know.
Yep.
Do you think the 296 will be more reliable with the V6 or less? I think less because of the hybrid.
Yeah.
Way less
Well,
reliable on the 296.
It's not a V6 issue. It's the hybrid
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, I think the V6 is probably going to be
Yeah.
bulletproof.
Yeah.
I mean, they just took what they already do and they just cut off 2 cylinders, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's probably a solid engine.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a lot of extra complexity. Like, simple's good.
That is true.
Yeah.
You know,
Simple is very good.
dude, every time now I crack open the engine bay of my GT40, I'm like, this is so nice. There's like
Yeah.
there's like 8 wires here. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, look, that one's bad. Cool.
Yeah, I like that one. Like, even if you didn't know which one, it's like, I'll test all 8.
It's gonna take 35 minutes.
Right?
'Cause
It's
I
God,
can get
it's
to every
awesome.
single one easily.
So easy.
I bet the batteries on the 296 and whatnot are more than 45 grand.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
probably.
For Ferrari batteries, jeez.
I bet they're 75 to 100.
Yeah. Mm.
They're not even that big, are they? Like, it's just gonna be the Ferrari tax.
I don't know
Yeah.
how many
Well,
kilowatt hours they are.
That's
but-
here. Potentiometers took 4 weeks for the 360. Yeah. That's actually pretty good. 4 weeks, not bad. Was that for throttle pedal or which ones? Because you're saying plural, so probably not the throttle pedal. Maybe the throttle bodies? I don't know. Anyway, let me know. Oh, I saw that. I saw Freddie is selling his Z06, and like twice he had it go on eBay, and the buyers just didn't pay.
Oh, jeez.
It's like,
I don't know if I'd want to buy a car from him.
oh, definitely not. Hell no. Hell no. I'm not buying any rental car.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Especially when a throttle body. Okay, it is throttle body.
Hmm.
Okay. Makes sense. Hasn't Ferrari said they aren't going to support the batteries for the LaFerrari?
No, they would have to, I would think.
I would assume the LaFerraris would throw their arms up in anger if they couldn't get the LaFerraris continued to run.
Yeah.
I do worry about that in like long term,
Yeah.
20, 30 years from now when that car is like highly collectible, like an F40 is today. You know, how's that battery going to hold up? Because they're going to have to keep them on the road somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say this is probably a good design. There should be modular batteries if you're doing EVs. I mean,
Yeah.
why wouldn't
Tesla
you?
did modular batteries. The batteries are, have like I think 8 packs in them, and you can replace. There's companies that are already rebuilding those, but I think the new Teslas and some of the new hybrids are like once the one cell in the battery's done, you got to replace the whole thing.
Mm,
That's rough.
Yeah,
that's expensive. There's already companies making a cheaper, lighter battery for the P1. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, someone will figure it out, right? Ugh. Ugh.
I like this Cybertruck.
I hate it.
I would
It's
take one.
so
I
ugly.
don't really like
But-
the look of it, but its
Ah,
specs and performance are fucking awesome.
I like
Performance
them,
is
and I would
great.
take one, but I don't want to be the first one to drive it around.
Oh yeah.
no, dude.
I want to wait until there's other ones, and then I won't look like a total dumbass.
Okay,
Driving it
look.
around.
If I give my 2-year-old a crayon, he can draw a better looking truck. I'm not kidding.
I think that's part of the point, but yeah, I think it's ugly as shit, but I love what they're doing with it. Like the
It's-
first 48
I
volt
watched-
vehicle.
I watched all
Like-
the videos on the truck, all the people that have done reviews, and at first I was like, you know what, I don't really like it. But after watching all that stuff and everything, and reading about how it's built and stuff, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's cool stuff going on, but they could have made it actually look like something.
But
other
why?
than-
But what, look like a regular truck? Everybody
yeah,
does that.
or just not.
That's not Tesla's MO.
yeah.
Ah,
Plus, they can only bend that steel in certain ways. So
yeah. Well, that's the problem, right?
that's why it kind of has to be a triangle driving down the road.
it looks like it's like, oh, hey, look, you have an isosceles driving on the road.
Yep.
That's what I'm gonna do every time my kid sees one. They're like, "Look, it's an isosceles."
Yeah,
think the best-
that drag race that it did
Ah.
was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ken, did you see that?
I haven't seen it, but I heard it. It beat a Porsche while towing a Porsche.
Yeah.
It has the Porsche, and it's like, I think it's a GT3 or something, and it has the Cybertruck, and they race, and it only shows the front of the cars, and then it shows the Cybertruck keep going, and it has the same exact Porsche on a trailer, and the front of that Porsche beats the one that's racing.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows that they go 0 to 60. Electric cars in a drag race are phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible. I mean, short of going to like Top Fuel dragsters, you aren't beating them in a drag race. Like on a street car, like the technology just is phenomenal. But
my favorite of all the reviews I've watched is Car Wow's. He puts like water on the windshield because it's got that giant single wiper.
Yeah.
And he has his producer stand next to it and it just douses him with water. It's like, how much water does this throw off the side of it?
Oh, nice. Now I gotta watch that. I'll go
It's pretty
watch
good.
that one.
Yep.
I like Carwow. They're good. I don't know, man. It's yeah.
I know, you think about it the same way you think about a G-Wagon, right? Just like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
just think they're hideous. Yeah, the G-Wagon's hideous. The G-Wagon's comfortable. I understand why people want it. I don't. I think it's horribly ugly. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yep.
But that's the other thing is I don't think what I need in my life, like the Cybertruck wouldn't make sense. There's no application where I would say, oh, I need the Cybertruck right now.
well,
because-
nobody needs it.
No, I know. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Nobody needs a lot of things, right? But I'm
Nobody
thinking, like,
nobody needs a
it doesn't
Cybertruck.
fill a void that like already can't be filled with lot cheaper, better, whatever stuff. Like if I'm towing, I need diesel because
Yep.
I'm sorry, it's not going to tow like my diesel. and-
Actually, they tow it very, very well. The problem is the
For a
range
short
when
period
it's
of
towing.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
when I tow, I go across the country. I'm not
Yeah.
doing that in the truck, in
Yeah.
the Cybertruck. Hell no. That sounds like a torture.
Well, you can get the range extender that plugs in the truck bed that gives it 500 miles of range.
It probably weighs a gazillion pounds.
I don't know. I don't know how much it weighs. Probably a lot.
But
Yeah.
then, okay, so I go that far, and I would be willing to actually, you know, it'd be a really interesting experiment is have a diesel truck tow a very big trailer, and a Cybertruck with the extended battery pack tow a very big trailer, the same trailer,
Yeah.
and see how long it takes to go, like, I don't know, a full like 1,000+ miles, because I've done multiple 1,000+ mile days in the truck.
Yeah.
That would be like, can I go 1,000 miles in a day?
Dang. 16,000 for the range extender? You could just get a class 4 diesel generator and put it in the back.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Just run that bitch.
The cool thing about the Cybertruck too is that it can provide power to your house. If you
Yeah.
lose power,
Yeah.
you can
So
plug
can my
the
truck.
what?
So can my truck.
Your truck can plug in and provide power to your house. 240.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not 240, but no, it can. It has a 110.
Some of the
Wow.
some of the
I mean,
Fords
so you
can
can
do
plug
that
a
too.
lamp in or something. Okay,
No,
but
it's not like-
you can run a refrigerator, a washer and dryer, a
Yeah.
water heater with the truck if you
Oh,
needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I still have a.
It can be a power wall for your house basically.
Yeah.
If you need it.
Yeah.
But there's
I
other
wonder how-
vehicles that do
I'd be
that.
curious
now.
how long that lasts, though.
I don't know. That's a good question. I
Well,
guess,
a lot longer than a Powerwall. Powerwall's what, 13 kilowatts? So
I think that the
Oh, yeah,
battery
that's
in the
a good point.
Cybertruck is like 120 kilowatt hours, and I think the
Yeah.
range extender is another 80, so 200
Wait a minute,
kilowatt
so
hours.
the power walls, which are like 20 grand or something crazy.
they're only 11.3. Yeah.
That makes no. So I'm just gonna buy a used Cybertruck as my generator. I'm just gonna park that bitch in my backyard.
Why do you have
Oh,
that
yeah.
truck in your backyard? Oh, it's my generator.
It's my generator.
It's when the power goes out.
Yeah. It's. What the hell?
Oh, that was the other cool thing about it too. Is if another electric car dies, you can drive to it and charge it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, look, I get it. Like I said, I like the feature. I think it's cool. Whatever. I think it's
Yeah.
also hideous.
Very much so. It is, but
and I'm sorry, but like part of me, I have to have vehicles that I personally find attractive.
I agree with that.
Even if it's my daily driver. I've never had a car I thought was ugly. I just can't. I can't. Like,
Did you like the Subaru Forester's looks?
Yeah, I like them. They look reasonable. It looks like a normal car.
Reasonable. That's the nicest thing you can say about a Forester is it looks reasonable.
To be fair,
sorry, I had to throw the Forester in there.
Hey, you know what? I got that. That Forester also costs less than 10% of a Cybertruck.
True.
So, I mean, when someone throws you a less than $5,000 reliable car, you go, yeah, oh yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
So, but look at the other car, like the STI, Meg's car, I think looks attractive, whatever. But Cybertruck. Oh, man, I love it.
Travis,
I love that we have a little bit of Tesla talk every week.
Yeah, well, I don't get the extreme hate that people have for Tesla. Like, that makes no sense to me. Those people are just like refusing to see that they're useful in daily life. Like, give me a break. Most people should be, like, the vast majority of people should probably have an electric car for their daily commuting.
And I think Teslas are far superior to anything else out there, even the Porsches and stuff. And here's why: because all of the other manufacturers are so far behind in the technology, the charging network, everything, that they've pretty much threw their hands up and given up. And they're like, you know what, EVs, we can't catch up with Tesla.
This is true.
We're gonna go. Well, yeah, I guess.
I hate that.
Where are those people at? Are they just online or something? Or?
Yeah, the Tesla sycophants are really obnoxious. Like, they need to tone it down, because the problem is they're the people who are like, yeah, my fart don't stink. It's like, come on, bro. Like, give it up. It's okay. And they're like, oh, you're ruining the planet, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, am I really, though? Am I? So, I used to love back in the day when I used to bicycle commute to work, all the the Prius stuff came out, and all the Prius people were like, their farts don't stink. And I'm like, I'm biking to work. So I don't give a shit that you think you're saving the planet. I'm actually saving the planet right now. But
did you ever watch that South Park episode that's pretty old and where they make fun of the Priuses?
Yeah,
it's pretty funny. Yeah, if anybody has not seen that, you need to go look it up and watch it. It's pretty funny.
Perfectly describes Tesla now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that stuff. We were actually discussing Tesla drivers. So here's the thing. Josh and I were actually joking about this. Tesla drivers, for the most part, suck. They do. It's kind of like Volvo drivers, okay? For the most part, Volvo drivers suck because you buy a Volvo because you think you're going to crash, because you suck at driving. So Tesla drivers buy a Tesla because they don't give a shit about cars.
Yeah.
They're not enthusiasts. Obviously, there's like the niche whatever people that we all hate. But generally speaking, you're buying Tesla because it's like, oh, save the planet, cheaper on maintenance, whatever, blah, blah. Reasons that none of us as car enthusiasts actually justify for buying a car. So when you see them out there driving, they're the ones wandering the road because they're not using the autopilot, or if they are using the autopilot, they're like not paying attention and they suck at driving. So just, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know that I would agree with this statement that Ferrari needs saving.
They don't need saving, and the ProSongway is not going to help them, I don't think.
It's going to help their shareholders, but
yeah,
I don't even know. I mean,
do you think it will do better than the FF and the GT Lusso?
I think it'll do better than the FF for sure.
In the US, at least, right?
Yeah, it'll do better than the FF and Lusso. Yeah, definitely.
It's a $500,000 SUV that's limited production.
Look at all the people buying the Urus, which is a $400,000.
The Urus is a lot. The Urus is cheaper, and they made way more of them.
Yeah, but we will see what happens with the PureSongway.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
bet
think
you
the people that buy a Purosangue and drive it around are not people that we want to hang out with. I don't know.
Sorry, Casey.
Sorry, Casey.
Sorry,
Oh,
Casey.
Casey's not getting his. He got denied.
Oh,
Oh.
what?
Yeah, they canceled his order.
Why?
Casey?
I didn't know that. Is
Yeah,
it because
I thought they all moved with his dealership change.
No,
but-
they gave him his
Yeah.
GTS, but they couldn't help themselves and they canceled his Purosangue order.
Wow.
Well, good
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Jeez.
Yeah. That's messed up. Okay.
It's pretty funny,
Yeah.
but
I have not seen one of these YouTube videos. That actually sounds pretty interesting. Someone who's only driven an electric car and then they
Oh
try.
God. That'd be
I
scary.
mean, that's gonna be.
oh, I guess that could be somebody that just started driving and maybe got a Tesla for their
Totally.
first car.
my
And then
my
could you imagine
Oh God.
doing
My
that? Because I would
sibling-
get in the gas car and be like, "What the hell is this?"
So my sister, she bought an electric car for her kids. So like, I mean, they've obviously been in internal combustion engine cars, and they have other cars in their family that are not electric, but like their first car is an electric car. It's not a Tesla, by the way. But I just think that's totally a reality now. That's kind of weird.
And all the kids at my kids' school, anyway, they all love Teslas.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, the electric cars are so cool. They could care less about anything of the gas car unless it's a
I forget-
Lambo."
Dude, we were somewhere and some kid was like asking me, he's like, "Oh, is that your Ferrari?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, "Why didn't you buy a Tesla?"
Oh no.
I was like, really? I was like, you would understand. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and like chastise a 14-year-old kid or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you don't get
It's
it.
not an argument we're gonna have today.
No, like, but it's like, wow, that's where we're at. Okay, this is strange.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Always definitely. Oops, there it is. Always dump your waste oil into your neighbor's property. It's definitely the proper disposal. Yeah.
Yeah. Possession's 9/10 of the law, right?
Mhm.
It's in their property. I don't know.
Hmm.
This is true because I've got the rear-wheel drive Model 3 and it's pretty fun driving around turns.
Oh really? Does it break loose?
It can, yeah.
Oh nice. That sounds fun. We need to find some new ways to enjoy the electric gods.
Yeah. Right.
Actually, I didn't even tell you this, Josh. I filmed a video today. Meg posted that article from Motor Trend talking about does sound matter or whatever.
Yeah.
So I filmed a video about that. So
Oh, cool. And yes, John, the Teslas do. If you let off and it starts the regen braking, the brake light comes on automatically, even if you're not pressing the brake.
yeah.
So that's why if you're following a Tesla and it starts slowing down, kind of weird, they're not actually pressing the brake.
I do like
And there's
the,
no way to turn that off.
the Rivian is a pretty badass electric vehicle.
Yep.
My brother had that Rivian truck and it was pretty cool.
Again,
but
the Rivian is
150
pretty cool, but the charging network sucks. I've heard
Yeah.
of people having issues that they can't get fixed
Yeah.
right away. It's just their dealer network is not good, and the charging network is not good.
Yeah. They
But
really
they do have cool cars. The truck is pretty badass.
if the electric sycophants really cared that much, they would lobby hard to make a standardized charging protocol.
That came out. They're
working on it.
Tesla's
They're all
leasing that
switching to
out.
Tesla.
Yeah, they are.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever, good. Then because like
Yeah,
it's
it should.
like
It
it's like
should.
gasoline. It's like, you have gasoline. Everyone uses the same gasoline basically. So, you need to have a standardized because every company's like, "Oh, let's do something different. Let's don't Apple our charge plugs."
Yeah. Right.
Well, Apple now, the new phone now has a USB-C.
Yep. Well,
Yeah,
of course
because-
they call it like something. They're like it's Lightning 4 or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
That's only because the EU made them do it. They weren't going
Right.
to do it otherwise. So
which is awesome. Thank God.
yeah.
None of all the politicians in the U.S. are too big of sissy boys.
They're taking too much of their money in lobbying.
Yeah, exactly. So they were never going to make Apple do that. But anyway, I'm not trying to get on politics. Oh man, someone brought up politics today on my channel.
Yeah.
No, do not do it. I'll ban you. That is a very quick way to get the ban hammer. So cars. We've been talking about cars the whole time.
Yeah, come on, you.
Jeez.
Must be watching something on his other screen.
Do electric cars not count as cars? You didn't specify it has to be non-electric cars.
Yeah.
Supercar.
He needs more Porsche talk. That's the real thing.
Yes, more
Well,
Porsche.
you are going to be in heaven. Just wait. You get your wish. We have that GT3 RS coming, and we will review it. And I will try my best not to crap all over it.
What's the cost? Have you figured it out yet?
Cost?
How much are you going to sell it for?
Oh, it's
Probably in
gonna be
the low 200s.
probably somewhere like 220, 230. We need to really
Miles?
20.
It's like right at 20,000, isn't it?
I think it was
like
around
right
20.
at 20.
Yeah, like 20,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I think she can drive the GT3 RS because it's a PDK, right?
Ooh.
So I will have Meg drive the GT3 RS then.
Nice.
I'm looking for. I've never driven a GT3 RS. I've driven a couple GT3s, but not the RS. How much?
Cool.
Again,
It's a 2019 GT3 RS. It's got some mods on it. And it's going to be in the low 200s, 20,000 miles.
yeah, black on black. It's got a matte PPF on it.
Mm.
It has some HRE wheels.
It's got the cup wing on it. So it's actually got.
We'll have all the factory parts that go with it too.
Oh,
Yep.
that's nice. Yeah.
Oh, they never contacted me. Those bastards.
Yeah, let's figure that out tomorrow.
We gotta call them. Yeah. Oh, you bought a 991.1 GTS Cabriolet today. Pretty sweet so far.
Nice.
Interesting. Very nice. What
That's,
color?
That's Justin. He's the Speciale owner.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I recognize. What color though? GT3 RS must have aftermarket exhaust. I can't remember if this one does. It does have a GMG tune on it, so it probably has an aftermarket exhaust.
Yeah.
If they're doing that stuff. Lava orange. There you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good color.
Thank you for getting
The,
a
G,
Porsche.
the GTS is a really good car too.
Yeah. That's one of the things that drives me nuts is so many Porsche people buy them in boring ass colors. It's like, it's a fun car. Put a fun color. Like, come on. No, I want white. Why? Because
Or
it doesn't
silver.
have scratches and it's practical. Like, shit. Oh my god.
I love it.
That's a good move there, Steve. I think I'll be right back.
I'll drink my water.
Yeah.
I killed that, and we're working on that now.
Mm.
Nice. Steve, when are you coming back out to Austin again? Any plans?
I don't have anything specific. I'll probably be down when Jocko comes down, just because we like to fuck around with him and go to Coda and stuff. So.
Cool.
We're going to Daytona in January to watch 24 Hours of Daytona.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah.
That could be fun. Don't they usually have a Ferrari event during Daytona?
Yeah, the day after you can drive on Daytona. You can drive
Oh,
back.
dude.
I'm trying to get Jocko to do it. I can't pull it off because I'm going to Ireland like 2 days later.
Ow, poop.
Like, as soon as I leave Florida, I'm going home, and then we're getting on a flight to go to Ireland. But trying to get Jocko to do it. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yes. Hey.
Hey, Austin.
Can wave at everybody.
I can never hear them when you hear. So dark over here.
Yeah, my battery.
Oh,
Oh, speaking of.
you're going. You're failing.
Going. Official.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Oh, we're talking about Clay. I see some comments about Clay. Who is Steve? Am I just Steve is Steve. That's Steve.
right there.
Steve.
I'm the guy that came and picked up the hammer drill, Travis.
Oh, that's wrong, Travis.
Yeah,
Oh,
different Travis.
Is it?
That's Travis Carpenter. I don't think he's ever been on the YouTube channel. He's an old friend from Michigan.
My apologies.
Yeah.
It was a
And
different.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to figure that out the first time too, so don't feel bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It is like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how else do you?
Don't
show...
they all point? Don't they all point at each other or something?
I
in
think
the-
Probably.
They look at him. They look at him.
Oh, yeah, they
They look. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh man, are we dating ourselves here that we actually know
Oh God.
Brady
Yeah.
Bunch things?
There's nothing else on when you're homesick, at school. That's what I can have the excuse for.
So I need to be rich, but I can't sell any cars. Is there a support group I can join?
I think you're in it.
It's called Cars and Coffee.
That's
Yeah.
I own a poor man's supercar. Yeah,
Yeah, that Forester, man.
he's got the Audi.
I know.
Jeez. Let's see. Yes, so new toys coming on the channel soon. The GT3 RS will be on soon. We will show that Super Leggera soon. We'll show our new 430 soon. We need some video ideas. If y'all have some video ideas, I'm having like writer's block on videos right now because
I think everyone in YouTube is
Yeah.
just
everything's been done.
yeah.
Like that's the problem. And then here's what I love. So like everything's been done. I try and make my videos fairly practical, and like I post a video and someone literally just puts like boring. I'm like, oh, you know what? Eat my ass. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thanks,
Appreciate it.
Chris.
So Cars and Wild, Aaron and Laura from the last evaluation tour will be there. Also, Jocko and I will be there.
Oh, cool.
For
Oh.
for what?
For
The
Daytona?
Daytona.
Oh,
So if you can make it,
Hmm.
the
When is
FCA, we're doing the FCA suite. So if you're an FCA member, I think they have rooms. there.
when
So,
is it?
like 29th, 28th, 29th?
Of this
25th?
month?
No, January.
Next month.
Oh,
Next month.
January.
January 25th, I think it's
Damn, that'd be kind of cool.
I actually had an idea for a video, Matt, if you were really motivated. And I told Josh about this. I was telling him, I think you should convert your 360 to a manual, and I would be willing to do the labor on it basically for free. Because I feel so bad for you about having the bullshit you've had to go through. So if you wanted to pay for the parts, I'd be willing to convert your car.
Speak for yourself.
It's a hell of a deal.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Only for you, just because
You can listen to Dan cuss and swear at it while he tries and sets the pin on the clutch pedal.
Oh yeah, definitely. Kirby.
How long did that take, Josh? After you talked?
I know. Well, it's like no, you.
Dude, I did actually. I had all that done pretty easy and pretty quick. I
Yeah.
figured out a trick to it where I marked where the where the set screw goes in with a Sharpie,
Mhm.
and so I knew right where to line it up.
Mhm.
So it took me like 10 minutes maybe to get it in.
Like once you know the trick, it actually isn't that bad. But if you don't know the trick, like the first time I
Yeah.
fucked with it was over an hour, and I gave up. And I was
Yeah.
like, I gotta.
There were
add.
definitely some lessons learned on your car that we applied and made things go way faster. Like I was able to do the clutch master installation in like 2 hours.
Except for when you crush the wire.
Shut up.
And then it was the wrong part and you had to redo it. Yeah.
No. It was broken, but that was not my fault.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff. Whatever. Yada yada yada.
Did you relocate the alarm system
Yes.
speaker?
I did.
That's the move for that.
Yep. Totally
Absolutely.
different spot. Way easier.
Way easy.
Yeah, no reason to put it back where it was. In fact, I don't think it was possible on this particular thing.
I think we spent more time trying to get that speaker back in than the whole
Oh yeah,
installing of the brake cylinder.
yeah. Good God, please go away. Never say that again.
Oh,
No. Ugh.
Liberty Walk. You be the first one. That'd be great.
I'll be yeah, and I'll also like want to like vomit like that pink for F40.
Yeah, then we can drive it off a cliff. It'd be
Like,
great.
whoa, whoa.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
I don't mind when people do a proper wide body on a proper like when it's done correctly, but like the rivets showing bullshitty
yeah.
bullshit, whatever.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
It's like
There's
all it
been a
shows me
blue
you're
458 Liberty Walk blue 458 light blue for sale for like 2 years. Nobody wants it.
Dude, we got offered it over like a year and a half ago.
Oh, jeez.
And it was funny is it's now for sale for less than what we offered. So oh man. I mean whatever. I'm not even gonna pull that one out, but whatever.
So someone earlier asked, and I didn't want to step on the conversation at the time, what I thought of the eDiff delete. So I know you guys talked about it in your video.
Yeah, you've been living with it for a while.
Yeah, I'm just going to give you my opinion on it. I really like it. And the reason I like it, and this is my mentality, is, and the reason why I don't like hybrids and things like that, is I like the simpler, the better. So by doing the eDiff delete, you get to remove the F1 pump and the accumulator and all that hardware that you don't need anymore. It's out of the way. You're not thinking about it. And then you just go back to a limited slip differential.
Yep.
And one of the problems with the eDiff was that sometimes the computer would engage it when you really didn't want it to engage. And Scudding Swiss actually he's smarter than me. And if you want to go to his site and read the reasons to delete it, you can. But I had a really good experience with it. I think it's great. It makes it analog. It makes it simple. It makes the car lighter. And it's one less thing to break. So that's my take on it.
I tried arguing that to the internet, and boy, was I an idiot in thinking the internet would actually listen to me.
Oh, there's a couple people there's only a handful of people that are like adamantly against it. And they can keep their eDiffs in their 430s and everyone else.
My God, they were vocal. My favorite, though,
I think some of them have never even driven one. So
my favorite is that people are like, it's a safety thing and deleting it could be illegal.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
give me a break. Give me a break.
Like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. You're right. So every car that doesn't have an eDiff should be illegal then, which is every other car except for a couple.
Yeah.
Like every open diff car should be illegal because it's a safety issue. Like, shut the fuck up. Dumbest thing I've ever seen. I hate it. Sorry. I don't mind having like a reasonable argument when people just go like to the nth degree because they want to make their point.
Yeah.
That's when you know you just, again, arguing on the internet, worthless, completely pointless. Like, why even bother? This is why I hate Freud chat.
I think there is a way to disable the immobilizer on the 360. I think they make a module to do that.
Yeah. I like this. Everything about Scudding Swiss is amazing other than the name. It is kind of a difficult name. Scud
I think
Swiss.
It's because I think it's German or something.
He's Swiss.
Swiss.
Oh, I know that. Swiss doesn't have its own language though.
Oh. Shut up. Just because you're smarter than us.
Okay.
They have like 4 languages they speak in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Well, there's your problem.
Oh, I love it.
Oh man. Too
Does
funny.
if you don't do the eDiff delete, does the F1 pump still charge when you open the door handle
Yeah.
on a 430? Okay.
Yeah. It has
So
to.
I think
the other benefit is the damn car doesn't scream when you open the
That's
door.
true. Ah!
one of the next kit that we do or conversion we do, we're going to actually keep the eDiff stuff on it. Dr. S asked us to do that just to show how it was done and that it's doable and that you can still have it if you want and whatever. And if you do keep it with the conversion that we're doing, you still have the option to disable it if you don't
Oh,
want
cool.
to use it anymore. You can
So just
disable
stop.
it and keep the hardware.
The problem is you're still always going to have the hardware.
Right.
That's like 40
If the
pounds,
hardware
right?
fails, you could disable it, but you're still going to have all that hardware in there. So
Okay, I guess you got to answer it like at least once a month. Adam is no longer with the company. Please don't ever ask again. Thank you.
he disappeared over a year ago.
Yeah.
This has been a long time. So there you go. Don't want to talk about it. Not going to talk about it. Moving on. Is there any car now you see that excites you since you've seen almost all the greats? That's a interesting
Yeah.
question.
Old rare stuff is what I get excited about. I could care
I mean-
less about any of the new cars.
This sounds terrible, but the GT40 excites the hell out of me.
Well, it's
love
funny.
it.
Dan and I were, and this sounds really really bad, but Dan and I were sitting at the shop earlier, and he's like, "Oh, there's this car show this weekend. It's gonna have like a GT40 and
Yeah, LaFerrari, GT,
LaFerrari and whatever, all these cool stuff." And I'm just like,
two Bugatti Chirons.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
and we're
I saw
just
that.
like, we've already been to Monterey. We've seen it all.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
eh.
So that
Yeah. Only two?
yeah. we're like, eh.
Yep.
That's the problem is I don't like once you've been to Monterey and stuff, going to a car show where you see a bunch of cool cars parked.
Yeah. It's not as cool as seeing them drive around, and they're
Right.
everywhere.
Yes. Like I'll go to a car show. So that's the thing. I guess we're getting so spoiled. I'll go to car shows where I know I can have like a social hour.
Yeah.
So it's like if I want to go to I like going to Pistons at the park sometimes because I feel like you can just have a conversation with people.
What's interesting about the Austin car scene, and it's probably like this in any city, is once you go to Cars and Coffee and the different meets and everything, after a while, it's
You
just
know all
the
the
same
cars.
cars that show up every week.
Yep.
Even if the Cars and Coffee has 1,000 cars or whatever, you've probably seen most of them already.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I'm like I go to car shows now if I want to have a social hour.
It's
like
almost
there's-
better to go in like a daily driver and then just go walk around so you don't have to sit in front and talk about your car.
I don't mind. I think it's fun to talk about that stuff though.
Yeah. well,
I'm planning on going if it's nice to Pistons on the Square on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
That's this weekend. That's a fun. I mean, it's a nice little thing. but
I'd go, but I got kid sports this weekend.
yeah. Oh, we're definitely not pulling that one up. Nope. Skip. How do I delete it? Can I delete it? Quick. How do I
Yeah.
delete?
Mario, you're
Delete?
getting
What
put
are you
in
What are you
timeout.
deleting?
Oh, I can't delete it. Damn it! I only be able to block him. I don't want to block you. Dang it! Oh,
Yeah, you can't delete.
Oh,
comments.
look, we have a good question here.
That's
we
what
have a-
Dan's talking about. So Dan,
Damn
what are
it.
you wearing?
I'm wearing.
Hold up your blank.
I'm wearing my Pixel 7 Pro.
Yeah, there you go.
God
Oh,
damn it.
jeez.
Are Steve and Tyler wearing anything cool?
I'm not wearing anything, but I can go get one if you want.
Oh,
No,
Yeah,
no.
I've got that on.
I got my Explorer 2 on.
Oh, nice.
I can get
Yeah,
my
that's-
Ukraine
Too far away from the camera.
with custom painted dial.
Ooh.
Oh, that one's cool.
Yeah,
that
that's
one's
cool.
really cool.
Holy
He's gonna do another one, so when he hits, I'll hit.
If you hear about that,
Really?
yeah, let me know because I want one.
Really?
I love it.
Sorry, I'm being a total asshole.
This is what Dan is with EV Talk.
Right? Oh man. Yeah. Oh, so Josh and I are in the hunt for some let's just say bullshit cars.
Yeah. There's YouTube content.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do that
Like we both
competition?
we
Yeah.
kind of feel like we need to do like the $2,000 or less car challenge. even if it's not a challenge, just to have them around, like have 2 or 3 of them around, just to do dumb things with, you know. Because like, let's be real. Sometimes Josh and I are sitting around. And we're like, you know what would be great right now is to just ram another car with a car. That sounds amazing. I think it would feel great. I definitely want to do that. No, please do not get me a nice F1 watch for Christmas. I will sell it.
A nice Casio calculator watch.
Hey, if you want to pay for me to get the newest Pixel, I will gladly upgrade to a Pixel 8.
I love
it. Make sure, given today's video, make sure it's a fake.
Yeah, let's get Dan like a.
Actually, dude, we should try and find some fake Ferrari crap and put it on the channel. That would be fun.
Yeah.
So you can get ratted out.
Well, no, if we just have it on the channel, not to sell it. If we're not selling it, if we just buy it, just to see. I think we should. Now that cars are coming to pre-pandemic prices, what cars would you buy? I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about sports cars and supercars. So the answer is pretty much everything we've already been buying.
Yeah.
Right. Pretty much most Ferraris, some Lamborghinis, apparently Porsches occasionally.
You can't say occasional if there's only one. So
That's occasional.
once. That's
Yeah.
not occasionally.
It's occasion. It's
the second Porsche. You had a Boxster.
Oh, that's true.
True.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. That's occasional then. Yeah.
And even that
Well-
took a while to sell.
To be fair, this is like the first real Porsche.
Yeah.
This is a real.
Ouch. Sorry, had to go there. Thank you. I'm taking a pause on my keto.
It's
Actually-
the holidays. Be done with
It's
it.
the holiday. Well, what did it? I'm not gonna talk. I don't want to talk about it because it's like it's all personal, whatever, blah blah blah, and then it gets no. Anyway, I'm taking a pause, but I'm gonna resume after the holidays. Oh, you know what? Here you go. Here's something to discuss or come up with ideas. Meg and I are trying desperately to find a place for a vacation. We have not been on a vacation since pre-COVID, so it's been 3-4 years since the last time we went anywhere. We used to take 1 or 2 vacations a year, so we're dying. Need
Kids will
this.
do that.
Yeah. Well, COVID first and then kids second, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
stacked them up and just we need to go somewhere.
I enjoyed Belize.
That was on our short list. The problem with Belize is like once you get there, then you got to take another plane and do, like take a boat and blah, blah. And our concern was we didn't want to be anywhere that was like super hard to get home in an emergency since we got little man.
Okay.
That's
So
fair. Yeah.
we're thinking like anywhere we can get to within like 6 hours.
How about Costa Rica?
We've been to Costa Rica, love it. Would definitely consider that.
You've already done that though.
We have, but I mean,
Yeah.
How about
Oh,
how about the Azores?
that would be interesting.
The Azores was pretty cool.
Hmm.
It's
We're-
like Hawaii.
So you
in
know
the
what's
middle of
currently
the-
top of our list is I told this to Josh and Josh was like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's a country."
I'm embarrassed. I didn't know what that was.
It's tiny. It's only 18,000 people. It's Bonaire.
Yeah.
We were thinking about Bonaire because it's good diving.
Yeah, because you're still
So-
certified, right? So
Yeah, we're still certified.
yeah.
But I would have to like my equipment. I would have to replace some of it because it's timed out and whatever. But Turks and Caicos, that's something to consider. Although, I feel like if you're gonna do Turks and Caicos, you might as well just go to Cayman. And Cayman's on the list too. Cayman is definitely a
Yeah.
consideration. Bahamas was a consideration.
The 6 hours part's what makes it hard.
Yeah, we definitely did not want to go Pacific.
Yeah.
Right. So, that was definitely on the no. even
That's too
though
far. Yeah.
even though we'd love to, like, that's our favorite ever, is the South Pacific. Is just nothing on earth is like it. But
Yeah.
Bermuda's cool, but I don't. The diving wasn't
Also,
impressive. when I
also
was there.
pretty
That was-
far out there too.
that was our problem with the Bahamas. Is like the diving looks meh.
Yeah.
Grand Cayman has great diving, but we've been there multiple times. Which is why we're kind of thinking Bonaire. But the problem with Bonaire is it looks like it's pretty much just diving.
Hmm.
Like not a whole lot else. So I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
Someone comes up with a good idea, feel free to ping me with it. But hey, look at that. 9:30.
Hey.
That was quick.
It did go quick. It always goes quick.
Yep.
Yeah. Do we think we'll see a dip in the economy that affects exotic car sales? No,
Yeah.
not really. I think all the crazy things that everyone predicted isn't going to happen. The Feds are already talking about cutting rates. I don't think
The
we're
stock
having.
market's at an all-time high today. Hit an
Yeah,
all-time
I don't
high.
think we're not going to get the big crazy crash everyone feared. So
But they're
think
still doing
we're-
layoffs, so don't worry.
yeah, it's true. But
There
the
are
thing
a
is-
lot of there are a lot of things that are happening that are not good that nobody
Yeah.
talks about.
Well, so here's the funny thing is like people think, oh, there's layoffs, so no one's gonna buy exotic cars. Well, it's like if you're working like a 9 to 5, you probably like
Yeah, you're not getting the car anyway.
you don't
Yeah,
have an
not-
exotic car.
yeah, the overlap between 9 to 5 and exotic car owner is limited. Yes, it does exist, but like it's probably not the typical buyer. So, oh well. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this week. You guys, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next week. So,
Cheers.
see ya.
See you later.
Later.